Hello, everyone, and
Hello.
welcome to our latest installment of Before the Downbeats live movie musical commentaries. Last week we did Chicago with our friend and co host Jessica Maxwell, and this week we are welcoming back a lady who has joined us now for her comments on Avenue Q, as
Mhm.
well as cats. And speaking of cats, tonight I actually have my cat mug with my cat on her on the mug.
Cute.
Yes, should have had it last time, but I wasn't drinking tea, so there we
Nice.
go. But either way, yes. So she joined us for cats. She survived that and actually came out thinking kind of positively about the film. We're still questioning her stance on that.
Listen, Jason Derulo is all I gotta say.
Mm.
That's the big positive
Yes.
takeaway. But
And
yeah.
then, Jill, I gave you a list of other options for your second choice, and you chose the one we're tackling tonight, which is Little Shop of Horrors from
hmm
1986.
Yes,
Yes.
correct. This is a musical that, again, I feel like I should know better. Should
You
be in my repertoire, just
would
in the
be a
back
very
of the
good Audrey.
brain. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I feel like after tonight, it's gonna put some tooth plant
Hmm.
vibe energy to sort of chomp down on
Yes.
any sort of recordings I can get my hands
Yes.
on. Yeah, this is one. It's always kind of up in conversation. When you're with your theater friends, someone's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I want to do a production of Little Shop," or "Oh, I was in a production of Little Shop," and I've always been kind of
Hmm.
there for the conversation, but kind of like,
Yes.
that is for some reason a musical that has
Hmm.
just never really came my way.
Yeah.
But of what I've heard of the bits and pieces of the soundtrack, like I do love the music, and yeah, so I'm excited to just kind of get my feet wet with Little
Yes.
Shop today.
Love that. And
Hmm
yeah, so well, let's kind of give a little bit of background and kind of inform Jill on what this show is, because this is actually one of our more popular episodes that Autumn and I tackled. This was our season one finale episode. At the time, we were actually I'd actually just seen it at Stratford. Stratford had just finished their production of it that I had seen.
Right.
So in Reed, Autumn's stepson is all into plants and had just gotten himself a Venus flytrap. So there you
Oh
go.
my gosh, I didn't know. That's
Yep.
funny.
Yep. So there's that. So yeah, definitely plants were on the mind when we did that episode. But this is the first collaboration of Alan Menken and Howard. Yeah, I always worry about messing up. Alan Menken and Howard Ashman are the team that did this. This was their first collaboration. They would go on to do such Disney classics as Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And then sadly, Howard Ashman passed away from AIDS in the AIDS epidemic in the early 90s.
Mhm.
So this was their first kind of collaboration that brought them together and put them on the map. And it's all based off this 1960s B horror movie that Howard Ashman saw on TV late one night that had a cameo by new actor at the time, Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
So he always thought that this B movie film that was literally made in 24 hours on like a studio backlot thought this could make a great musical. And so sure enough, Alan Menken got introduced to him and they wrote this piece that kind of took off from there. And it's never gone to Broadway because Howard Ashman always felt this piece was better in a more intimate off-Broadway house, but it won a whole bunch of awards, ran for a number of years. It's still running on Broadway right now, actually. The current revival is there, running on Broadway, doing well. And Stratford just did it in its season prior to COVID, so now 2 seasons ago they did it.
mhm.
So and it's one of the more popular shows that are done in high schools across the
Yep.
globe as well. And I mean, what's not to like about a giant killer plant that wants to eat people? I mean, there's a great commentary there, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll
Okay,
definitely
love
get
that. I
into
feel like
that.
I got a crash course of the
Mm-hmm.
production history. I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready.
Mm-hmm. And this film, done in 1986, was directed by Frank Oz, who many people will know for his work with Jim Henson. in the Muppets, and as well as being the voice. And I believe he either co-created or created on his own the character of Yoda as
Cool.
well. So that's why this giant puppet is so well done, because it's done by the Jim Henson, Frank Oz team over there in Muppets Land. So we will definitely get into that. But this film also stars Rick Moranis, who at the time was just up and coming as a comedian. He was just done Spaceballs. He was kind of the Canadian comedic treasure. You also have the original Audrey, whose name is, let me just confirm it. Don't want to say her name wrong. Let's see here. It is, I believe it's Ellen. Ellen. I think it's Ellen Green. Yes, Ellen Green plays Audrey. Then you have Steve Martin, who is playing Orrin the dentist. We're going to have a number of big cameos, including John Candy, another Canadian comedy treasure. We also have Christopher Guest, who's done a lot of Rob Reiner films. A lot of people know him as the evil Count Rugen, the man with six fingers. In Princess Bride will be appearing as the first customer in this. Professor Sprout, Miriam Marigolds plays Orrin's assistant, the dental nurse. So there's a lot of kind of big character actor names that show up in this piece as well.
Right.
So we're definitely having a lot of fun picking them up as we find them. And then you have Vincent Gardenia, who's a longtime Hollywood actor, playing Mr. Mushnick as well. Like, so there's a lot of very recognizable character faces that we will try and catch as we go along. So yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Jill, are your niece and nephew into gardening?
Yes, they are. My
Okay.
sister-in-law, they have a little garden plot, or I mean, now that the weather's getting crummier, it's kind of dying down, but
Mm-hmm.
they had what did they grow this year? Shishito peppers,
Ooh.
green beans, chives, mint, basil, cilantro, tomatoes, and zucchini, I
Ooh, look
believe.
at you.
Yeah. Yeah, and they love picking it. And my little niece will just go right up to the like shishito pepper plant and take one off and eat one. She just eats
Wow.
it right from the garden.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some experience with gardening, so you'll appreciate the flowers, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah,
Perfect.
my grandma was also like a huge gardener too, so
There
and both my parents were average green thumbs, I'd say, but
you go.
yeah, I definitely have an admiration for plants.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
in that case, Jill, what do you say we get this started? We're watching from our own digital copies, as this film is not available on streaming, but you certainly can go
Yes.
on like Apple TV and rent it yourself if you're wanting to watch along. I
Mhm.
do believe this is the original cut, not the alternative ending cut. But if it's
Okay.
different, I will
Mhm.
point it out. But
Great.
yeah, so Jill, let's hit play. I'm at
Okay.
0-0, so I now have the logo coming up. There we go. The Gaffney Company release. Yep.
I might be a little bit ahead of you, Mac, but not by much.
Okay. And then we get the classic
I,
overture.
yeah. Special appearance by Steve Martin.
I'm up to starring Rick Moranis. I think you're a few seconds
Okay.
ahead of me. But we have this great kind of psychedelic 60s green, alien lighting, space look. Yep, now I'm up to special appearance by Steve Martin. Introducing all these wonderful actresses who are going to be playing kind of our. Uh, there we go. Yeah.
I'm getting like Rocky Horror vibes.
It's well, this is very kind of B musical Rocky Horror vibes.
Yeah.
Like this,
Little
because this
shop
is
of
based off of
horrors.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terrors, the cops. So like this is a very doo-woppy B movie musical.
Yeah.
So everything's kind of it's going to be very broad, and as Autumn and I talked about, like it works because you can be broad in this. You don't have to
Yeah.
be overly serious. And I will comment right off the top with this is that this set looks way dirtier than the one that Stratford had. Stratford looked
Okay.
very clean, and that was one of the things that irked me about it. Is that we're supposed to be this is a commentary on class. This
I
whole
see.
musical is a commentary on class and the desperation the lower classes do to reach the higher levels of society in their dreams and the sacrifice they have to make to do it.
I
So
love this doo-wop trio is just giving so much life.
they're great, and they're throughout the whole movie.
So
I
there's sort
also
of like a chorus kind of thing.
I also like
Like
how
a
they
Greek.
got no rain coming on them, so it makes them feel very
Yeah.
ethereal and not of the world, but as like Greek chorus, kind of like
Right.
Hercules, where like the
Yeah.
muses keep showing up throughout the
Yeah, and
movie
that's
as
what I just said. I was
statues
like
and
they're
stuff.
kind of acting like a chorus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I mean, when you think about it, Alan Menken wrote the music for Hercules, and it's the same
Right.
gospel sound, right? So I'm sure when he was making that, and Stephen Schwartz came to him and said, "I want to do a gospel soundtrack for Hercules," I'm
Yeah.
sure Alan Menken was like, "Ah, I've done something similar to this. I know how to kind of
Right.
write for this. Like this has a lot of muses of fire." Oh, and Mary Keenan is watching with us tonight.
Mary.
Yeah, hi Mary. There she goes. She says, "Baby, Tanisha Campbell is my fave in this movie." Yes, Mary. Yes. And here we go. The
Oh.
wonderful Rick Moranis. Oh, poor guy. Now we will say in this, because once again we're playing it into B movie tropes, so a lot of over characterization here. But
Yeah.
both Seymour and Mr. Mushnick do a very stereotypical Jewish East, like New York Jewish energy to them. So
Mm-hmm.
take that as you will. And of course we have the leopard high heels to reveal Audrey.
This the wig and her makeup are just
Mary, ask us some questions. We'll happily answer them.
Hey Mary. Oh gosh, he's just such a klutz.
Oh, Seymour.
Oh.
Oh.
Hmm.
And see who they are? They're
Yeah.
the Duop trio.
Yeah. Yeah. That is little baby Tisha Campbell.
Yes.
Mary.
And here we go. We're into the next song. Down on Skid Row. Like, this
Oh,
piece
yes.
does a really good job of capturing the class divide of this world.
Wow, yeah. This like the cinematography too.
Frank Oz did a really good job of, once again, grounding this piece in a reality, because it really does create a tragic climb, or it really does build a reason to why. It gives a really good reason to why Rick Moranis' character Seymour is willing to do what he's going to do to feed the plant that's giving him so much fame and fortune. When you see the environment that he is
I
living
see.
in, like, this is just a tragic space, and the fact that you're seeing all these people are living in these situations that are just tragic, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you could walk downtown Toronto and see a lot of this stuff, right?
Well, and it has like this like downtown kind of like a boppy, but because it's kind of
Yes.
hap tempo, it's really
Mm-hmm.
adding to the fact of like people just drudging through
Yeah.
their like experience,
Mm-hmm.
Like this very melancholic subtext.
Yes. Once again, a good comedy is always a few steps over tragedy, right? If the scene
Yeah.
is played too serious, then it becomes tragic. If
Hmm.
you're seeing these images of these poor people in these slum neighborhoods, but then you amplify it a little bit with the comedy of the doo-wop music and these bass singers doing the "when you go
Yeah.
down down," like like this could be Rent in other
Yeah.
circumstances if it was played for seriousness.
Yeah.
But because you got this, kind of a bit of a bop, and you got these comedic singing voices that are a little bit exaggerated, it
Right.
completely masks the tragedy, which is what comedy really does. It should be a commentary that it could be seen as tragic, but done in a comedic or in a lighter tone.
Exactly.
Oh, he's
Have him
sitting in a
standing
puddle.
right in the puddle.
Yeah,
His luck is just
not
really not
great.
on his side.
Nope. And that's the tragedy,
Yeah,
right?
I really love the staging of this. It's
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, a melancholic viewpoint
Mm-hmm.
of, yeah, all
It
of the
really does set up
sludge and
a
trudge.
yeah. It really does set up the reason for why Seymour is going to do what he's going to do when he gets a little taste of fame and fortune with his plant,
Hmm.
Audrey 2. I mean, this is very kind of like the lepers in Jesus Christ Superstar when they're climbing the
Yeah, yeah,
gates, asking for the miracles, right?
yeah.
And I will say, Rick Moranis actually has a very good singing voice. Like
Yeah, he
Seymour
very
doesn't
much
have
does.
to be
Yeah.
perfect. Like he doesn't have to be like Colin Wilkinson
Yeah.
belts in the high tenor notes, but he has to be able to hold a really good tune. And when you compare him to
Yeah.
like Russell Crowe, Pierce Brosnan, and their singing style, like he's holding his own with Ellen Green, who plays Audrey off
Yeah.
Broadway,
She's
right? Like,
fantastic. Oh my
and
gosh.
she's owns this role. I mean,
Yeah.
she was the OG, right? So
Yeah.
she's always been Audrey. So
Oh yeah, I'm hooked.
yeah, Jill's in.
Hmm.
Great, you're using montage here,
Yeah.
just showing the time dribbling
So
by.
essentially Seymour and Audrey work for
Mr. Mushnick.
Mr. Mishnook. Okay.
Yeah.
And sorry, what is their shop?
They're a flower shop
Okay.
in a very bad neighborhood, so they don't get any
Yeah.
business. And it's interesting, like the Audrey voice that Ellen chooses is not like if you hear her in an interview, it's like listening to Megan Mullally speak compared to her Will and Grace voice that she puts on, right?
Right.
It's a bit more cartoony, and it really does help kind of soften the tragedy of Audrey's story where she's in this very abusive relationship.
Right.
And
Oh,
yeah,
this is a good camera angle. Sorry. Yeah.
right, because once again, it's the POV of the flower,
Yeah.
and it's a little Max coffee tin.
Yeah. No, but to call back
Mhm.
Mac, yeah, I agree. It is again, it's kind of leaning into the B plot, like everything is sort of stereotypical and like emphasized, you know?
Oh, Mary says going in next to Ellen Green is no small
Going
potatoes.
going up next to Ellen Green, yes,
Ellen
is
Green,
no,
yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Indeed,
Yes. And
Mary.
here we go. We got our first celebrity cameo. We have Christopher Guest, who, as we said, he is known for doing This Is Spinal Tap, Princess Bride. There's a lot of stuff. So, first
Here's a
big
little flashback.
cameo. Yeah. And once again, the flashback is done in this kind of even highlighted colors once again, you
Yep.
know, showing the change of reality. Even in this piece where it's cartoony, we're showing the change of reality to flashback.
Yep.
I also just love the bop of Rick Moranis' character walking this. That
Yeah, yeah,
version
yeah.
is
Just
so
like a little
different
doofus walking
from
down the street.
yeah Eclipse. Among those zinnias.
Audrey too.
I also love how the plant has a little smile with the lips,
Yeah.
like the bud
Yeah.
looks like a little smile. All good,
That
Mary.
was a
Typos happen to all, so all good.
that was a cool the doo-wops being like Audrey too, like a good foreshadowing to
Yes.
what plant's name is going to be.
I love Christopher Guest just randomly comes in to prompt the flashback and then is just
Yay. Oh my God,
and I
I feel
love just
like I
the
feel like I work in a
roboticness of his
flower shop too. I
performance.
just got so excited.
Yep. And of course now the money starts rolling in
They're getting
from
all the
every side,
monies.
right? The green is coming in. But once again, there's a little neat commentary there. The homeless guy tries to come in because he's always been part of that community, and now all of a
Right.
sudden, the rich upper class people from the other neighborhoods come in, and they lock out the homeless guy who was trying to come in and
Yep.
take a look at it, which is the tragedy, right?
Yeah.
Like he's the only fella I got, and when you look at the life Audrey has in this poor neighborhood, I'm sure there are a lot of people who stick with partners who,
Oh, the plant's so sad too.
yep.
Hmm.
Growth for me. I also like that this was all shot on sound stages, and you can tell, like when we did on Cup of Hemlock, and we did our screenplays episode about the Scottish play
Yeah.
Macbeth with Denzel. We commented on how the sets that were all done on sound stage just had a kind of awkward quality to them. Meanwhile,
Mm-hmm.
this, even though it's all done on a sound stage, yeah, it does have a bit of a stage quality to it, but it still feels, I don't know. I don't know if realistic's the right word, but it just feels
Yeah.
more tangible. It doesn't feel so
Right.
plywoody and fakey like this like Joe
Yeah.
Cohn's Macbeth did. Here we go. Oh, Rick Moranis. I
Oh, the
think he's
plant is really
already
cute.
done. I think by the time he did this, he'd already done Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
Cause
yeah, definitely probably. If this is 86, like
yeah,
oh gosh, I feel like
yeah, because I feel like
Dewey Stewart.
Spaceballs and Ghostbusters was like early
I, I
'80s.
need to know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghostbusters was 84.
Okay, and Spaceballs was when? Let's see.
Let's look that up. 87, so actually a year after
Okay.
this.
Okay, so this is in between
Yeah.
Ghostbusters and Spaceballs. Okay. But still,
And
like
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that's the 90s,
that's
right?
the '90s.
Yeah,
That was toward the end of his before his retirement.
right.
But still, that was like, oh, there we go. He's pricked himself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh no.
and the plant is talking.
It's alive.
Like, look how cute that little puppet is.
I know.
Like
It's so cute, but I know it's about to do so many bad things.
it's cute but so deadly.
Yeah.
Mary, if you're watching with us, let us know. Would you ever show this to any of your students on like a Halloween movie day at school? Ooh.
Ooh.
There actually are some really cool Instagram accounts that show like kind of deadly flowers that will like eat the insects that fly in
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
You can
yeah.
watch that. They actually are kind of morbidly interesting.
Wow, he really wants.
Yes. From what you've seen so far, Jill, do you
No, but
think you
it's
could show
not
this to
blood.
Ellis?
No, absolutely, I would not. Not that young.
Mm.
Probably,
Eight or
like,
nine.
yeah, 9, 10,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, don't give him.
But of course he's gonna give. I mean, this is very Dr. Faust, right?
Yeah,
Where he signs his name in blood, makes the deal with the devil, right?
right.
This.
True.
They're doing the
It's a
same
blood pact
story
now,
here.
yeah. Yeah.
Of
Oh, and it's content and happy now.
yeah, yeah. This is the Faustian story of Seymour Krups here. That he's gonna make a deal with the devil, and he starts by just with a few drops of blood.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, plant is like, I'm ready to grow.
I mean, the puppet work in this with the can and everything. We
Yeah.
notice this is all practical effects. There's no CGI because this is
Especially in like
'86.
the late 80s. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow,
Like
that's all
that
it
plant
took.
literally just grew on screen.
Wow, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's John Candy.
Nice.
Oh, plant's even bigger now. And he's got band-aids all over his
Oh, he's got all the
fingers.
band-aids on his fingers. Yeah, that's a good
A
attention to
little hint
detail.
of what's going on.
Hmm. Look at all these people.
Yeah. Once again, great visual gags, like great
Yeah.
kind of like classic sitcom comedy gags of You start off with the very basic plant, and you got like grow and grow and grow to more and more ridiculousness. You get
Right.
like the old man in like the flying suit from like the Wright
Of course. I
brothers.
knew this was gonna happen. Plant in the
Yeah.
butt. I was like, this is setting up for
Yes.
naughty plant.
Yes. The plant's very naughty, which is always interesting because sometimes shows will have the plant voiced by a male actor, and then I've seen other productions that were voiced by females.
Mm.
And when Autumn and I talked with this on the episode, Autumn was very straight on this, where she said it should be a male voice because it's such an aggressive.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't know if ugly is the right word, but it's a very kind of aggressive, kind of Trumpian energy that this plant has, where it's
Sure.
just all consuming, all greed. You know,
Yeah.
that it has a very masculine energy to it that really kind of you'd want kind of the deep baritone of a male voice to really kind of capture the character.
Mm-hmm. I think there, yeah, I would agree
Yeah. Sorry, just
with
admired
that
John
too. I
Candy.
mean, I feel like there's ways you can like make it be
Yeah.
whatever or however, or even like distort the voice if you
Yes.
wanted to go with that. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a
There
certain
was
layer you can lean into.
I think it was an early 2000s revival on Broadway that was done, or off Broadway that was
Mm.
done, that had oh, what's his name from Kinky Boots, who won the Tony for it, Jill. Billy Porter.
Billy Porter, yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Porter played the Audrey too, and they say he was absolutely terrific.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, I love Billy Porter. Actually saw him as Lola in Kinky Boots, and there was
Mm,
a 4-minute standing ovation after Lola's solo song
yeah.
that like literally stopped the show for 4 minutes. It was really cool.
And I will say one of our fun facts this week was about John Candy's performance in this film, where he actually was offered the role of Mr. Mushnick, and he
Mm,
declined it because we forget John Candy in the late '80s was a big John Hughes actor. He had just done Uncle Buck. He was about to do
right.
Spaceballs with Rick Moranis as well. Um, he definitely was on the rise. SCTV. He definitely had a name for himself, but he declined. He said, "No, I don't want a big, flashy role in this. What other minor character do you have that I could potentially play?" And
Okay.
Oz, the director Frank Oz, said, "Well, you play the DJ, the radio
Right.
DJ," and John Candy was like, "Perfect, I'll take it." Oh, Audrey, now she's got a arm in a sling.
Right.
Like, once again, if she was playing the voice seriously and wasn't such a kind of a broad character, and her lines weren't so
Yeah.
comedic and kind of ditzy, the situation that she's in would have turned the character into a really down, tragic character, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's very interesting, once again, when you watch Ellen Green's
That's
performance.
really good too. The muse is just saying like she suffers from low self-esteem and that's her biggest
Mm-hmm.
like character crux, I think.
Yes.
Like
And this is a very well known song, Somewhere That's Green. This was
yeah.
the song that Howard Ashman used when he was talking to Disney when they brought him on to do Little Mermaid. He goes, "Well, your Disney movies are missing the I Want songs for characters. You need to have, like, if you look at those early Disney movies, Snow White and Cinderella all had an I Want song. Like Snow White at the well saying,
Mhm.
I'm wishing to find my prince, and then
Yeah.
Cinderella's got the, is it Someday My Prince Will Come? I think it's Cinderella when she wakes up in the morning in the
Y
bedroom.
wow, I feel like I should
I
know
can't
this.
remember what the song is
Yes?
there. Yeah. Or no, I think Snow White is Someday My
No.
Prince Will Come. Someday
Yes.
My Prince. Yeah, that's Snow
Yeah.
White. Cinderella has another song that she sings.
Oh gosh.
It's something about a dream. A
Well,
dream is a
that's
wish your
Aurora
heart
does. Yes,
makes.
exactly. That
Yes,
and then
that's it.
Aurora's is I
Once
know
Upon a
you, I
Dream.
waltzed with you
Yes.
once upon a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all have an I Want song, and Disney had forgotten that they did that. So Howard Ashman
Right.
had to go like, no, you guys need a song like
Um,
this, Somewhere That's Green, to really set up the character and their wants. So when he said,
yeah.
we're doing Little Mermaid, he goes, Ariel needs a song. It needs to be so Alan Menken's joke to Howard Ashman is, oh well, this Ariel song is actually somewhere that's wet versus somewhere
Yeah.
that's green, because really it's the same song. I want to be part of your world. Somewhere that's green is the
Hmm.
same vibe,
I
and
love
it's
that
the
it's
same
like, yeah,
concept.
it's like a greenhouse. There's the green
Yes.
lawn. Even
Yep.
the room spray can is
Yes.
green. And also it symbolizes too, like somewhere that's green, like money,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep.
if they had money to escape and
Yes. And of course, there's the very famous phrase, "The grass is always greener
yeah,
on the other side."
right.
Oh, we got some
Oh,
cartoon
there's a little
birds.
bird. Yeah.
Very Disney princess.
Hmm.
Like this is very kind of. But what you're, as Autumn says, what the whole point of the song is not that it's a certain thing. It's that what she's clamoring for is a sense of normal domesticity. Like that's what she's wanting. She's wanting stability and just normal domestic life. She's wanting the good, simple, wholesome life that every person in this world wants on some level, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not as
Not
as
as
like
like this, like
misogynistic as yeah.
yes, yes, not, but it's the
But
whole
no,
concept
just
of
it's even just
secure
the whole
family,
concept of
right?
being comfortable.
A
Yeah, and
comfortable life with a
yeah.
good partner who's caring and kind. I love how the kids look just like them. Like that's just such a classic
Yeah, yeah,
cartoon
yeah,
trope that when
yeah.
you see the kids like all in the same outfits.
Yeah.
And of course they have the I Love Lucy double beds there.
Yep,
Very
yep, that's
1950s like sitcom. I
yeah.
think it was Dick Van Dyke Show was the first time they showed a couple that shared a bed. Like didn't have two separate beds, one for mom, one for dad.
Okay.
So, and what's interesting is when you watch the song on stage and you listen to her recordings when she does it on stage, she really does let the belt grow, right? Same thing when we get to Sunday Scene where you'll notice she's doing a very good job of playing for film and not
Yeah,
and is not letting her belt get too big or something they always fault
yeah.
Broadway actors for is they can't play to the camera. They don't know how to like rein themselves in. I'm like, most of the time they do.
Yeah,
Like as
yeah,
long as
yeah,
you
yeah.
screen test them ahead of
And
time and can
I so
check them.
appreciate that they chose her
Mm-hmm.
like a Broadway season actor
Yeah.
to be in this. Like
Yes.
it goes against the star-studdedness that
Yes.
usually calls for when you make a musical into a movie, and that can make the whole project go down the
Mm-hmm.
toilet.
Here's looking at you, Audrey Hepburn, and My Fair Lady. Instead of casting Julie
I
Andrews.
yeah, right. These muses are like my favorite.
They're a lot of people's favorites. Everybody loves the Muses. Unfortunately, I have seen some high schools do it where they do not cast BIPOC artists for these roles, and I'm always like, ooh, no, 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 no. These roles are very
Yeah, I
clearly
feel
written
like
for BIPOC artists and need to stay that way, like Hairspray. Like, don't
well,
mess
yeah,
with
it
that.
adds. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, the only thing I've ever I talked about this in the episode that Autumn and I did, which is um this musical does take quite a bit of time to get to the plant being the main plot. Like, there's a lot of setup in this show. Like when we look at our time so far, we're about 30 minutes into this movie, and the plant is
Right.
slowly but surely getting there. But like we're so used to seeing on the poster the big talking plant
Yeah.
that it takes quite a bit of time to kind of get to the
Whoa.
big plant. Like we're finally starting to get to that plot point now.
He has two phones. That's funny. Business is so busy.
Mr. Shiva.
Hmm.
And Shiva, if you don't know, is the Jewish term for when somebody passes away. Shiva is where all
Right.
the family sits and mourns.
Hmm.
So, great little word puns there. Howard Ashman was so fantastic at crafting these great word jokes and this great kind of old sense of Jewish humor that had a lot of joke, like wordplay. Like you look at Mel Brooks, a lot of his comedy is that old Yiddish style of wordplay. So the
Hmm.
fact that we get that with Howard Ashman, he was able to kind of capture that energy and use it is really great. Dropping off like flies.
Glitter.
But if you notice, even Audrey now that she is doing better at the flower shop has stepped up her look a bit too, right? Everybody's getting a bit of a glow up and is starting to
Right.
enjoy the money and the green that this plant
Yeah.
is bringing into this world, right?
Right. Right. He's kind of stuck in the.
Yes, he's staying humble for now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? He hasn't fully made the deal yet.
Right.
But there's other people in this world like Mr. Mushnick and Audrey there who are slowly but surely starting to fall into the dangers of what capitalism and the green
Hmm.
that this plant is bringing brings into this world. So once again, very good commentary in this
Hmm.
piece, and subtle commentary too. That if you're listening to what Howard
Yeah.
Ashman
Yeah.
wrote, you'll get it because Howard Ashman started off in like the off Broadway community, in like the very indie theater realm, right? And now we get
Right.
Steve Martin
Steve Martin.
on his Harley there,
Haha.
and he's got
It's
my
giving me like Eddie from Rocky Horror vibes.
very Eddie, very Eddie.
Hmm. He's got like an Elvis James Dean kind
Yep,
of vibe. Yeah, and now he just did the Elvis motion.
yep. Like this is my favorite song of this whole piece. Like once again, the comedy of the song against what he's actually saying.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's sitcom-y, like funny with like the sound the punch makes when he hits the nurse in the
Oh,
face
and he just took
and
the
rips
kid's
the head
doll
off the
head
doll,
off.
right? Like
Wow.
this character is truly evil,
Wow.
but the song is funny. That you kind of get forgotten about that this guy's
Right.
horrible, like evil human.
Oh, it's laughing gas. That's
Yes.
funny. Wow. Wow. He is so evil.
And it's I think yeah, Alan Menken's dad is a dentist.
Oh my gosh.
So we were talking about like what was Alan Menken trying to say when he wrote this piece?
Right.
The
Oh, this poor nurse.
nurse is just hilarious, like just the sitcom jokes of the physical comedy. Like Steve Martin is killing this character.
Yeah.
It's so great watching him just have fun with this. Although that's a guy in drag dressed as the mom.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that his Steve Martin took about 16 days to shoot his whole track,
Wow.
and they said he had a great time with that.
Oh,
And
that
what a
was a
great
good like
cutaway there with the
crossover. Yeah,
throwing
cutaway,
water,
yeah.
right? Like just great work there.
Wow, this movie is so good. Like
Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite movie
I'm
musicals.
hooked.
And it's interesting, once again, you're getting the juxtaposition of you're seeing into the store where it's all shiny and new, and yet they're still throwing all their flower waste and dirty water just out into the alley.
Wow.
And here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Getting high off his own gas.
Oh.
I love how Audrey's like willing this to be a good friendship
Yeah.
between Orn and Seymour.
Oh no. Oh, I don't like him.
You're not supposed to. Like
I
Autumn and
know.
I talked about this because Autumn's all about find the gray in any character, but I'm like, there is
Yeah.
no gray with Orn. He is a
Yeah.
outright villain of this piece, and Autumn and I both said that's okay because once again, this is a B movie where the
Mm-hmm.
villains are the villains, and it is very black and white in that sense.
Yeah.
I love how Audrey's pushing the bike.
Yeah, she's the one that's pushing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I mean, another thing that is great is Orn is setting up a lot of the great. It's setting up the character of Gaston that they're going to do in Beauty and
Yeah.
the Beast, right? I mean, Howard Ashman talked a lot about these kind of very masculine, traditional jockish bullies that he grew up with, and the fact that he's writing these characters like Orn, like Gaston, who would be the stereotypical look of somebody who society would deem as alpha, predominant, a good partner, but then
Yeah.
they're abusive, they're cruel, they have these darker undertones to them. So I think
Right.
Howard was very interested in the whole concept of the look versus the reality, right? I
Right.
mean, the same thing
Ooh.
with Ursula in Little Mermaid, right? She looks evil. There is a clear look to the villain that he was playing with there, that this big brassy character, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then she transforms and
Oh, is
becomes,
this what the plant?
yep,
The plant is talking.
the plant is talking.
Tui is that
Tui, yeah,
Tui? Yeah.
Tui. He calls
Nickname.
her Tui. So, fun fact is originally Eddie Murphy was potentially going to be the voice of Audrey too, but then they went with the Broadway actor who did Audrey too, I believe. Let me
I
check and
see.
confirm. Yeah, Liam Stubbs is his name, who did the
Mm-hmm.
voice of Audrey 2 in the movie. And let me see if he also did it on Broadway. Yeah, he was the vocal artist. Film Television provided the voice of Audrey to the alien plant in Little Shop the movie. So there we go. So he did it in the film, but he didn't do it on Broadway. On
Okay.
Broadway, it was, let's see. It was who?
Oh, this is a good song.
Yes. Once again, it's very Faustian, right? This is when the devil comes to Faust and
Yeah.
says, "Make the deal. Come on, I'll give you what you want. I'll
Right.
give
Right.
you." And in this case, Seymour wants to get rid of Orn. He wants him out of the way.
Oh my God, I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm like, how's he gonna feed him? Oh.
Ron Taylor was the original voice of Audrey 2 in the original off Broadway production.
So on like stage productions of this, do they have like the human inside the plant or just voicing like a
No,
robot?
it's all puppeteered,
Yeah, okay.
and then there's an actor off stage who reads the voice.
I see.
But in Stratford, they had to have that actor also be one of the ensemble members. So
Okay,
so
cool.
so so you never so you didn't know he was the voice of the plane until he comes out at the very end with the head mic on and talks.
Okay.
But here's where we get to see the great work of the Muppet creators, right? Like this puppet, like the
Yeah.
way the lips move, like the fact the bottom mouth kind of has a bit more of a flap to it,
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah,
bottom
yeah.
lip. Like it has such personality
Yeah.
that it's just great when you look at this
And again, in
work.
the late 80s, like,
Yeah, like it does look a little cartoony, like a little rubbery, but that's okay because once again,
but it
this is
adds for it. It add like
it
this like
adds character. It's a
saliva-y
B
glistening.
movie. It feels
Yeah.
alien, right? It doesn't feel
Yeah.
like it's not human. Like it's not supposed to be like a real plant. It's an alien in
Yeah.
disguise as a plant.
Mhm. Oh.
I mean, this is also very Sweeney Todd, right? We're gonna pick off
Yeah.
the customers and the people that nobody are gonna miss and care about, right?
Yep.
Like who's gonna care if I kill Orrin the dentist, right? He's a horrible,
Right.
abusive man. Like that's something else, right? Just the fact that we're gonna pick off people in society who are not gonna be missed, and I mean that ties in even now, right? We have the missing and murdered Indigenous women, right? Nobody, it's never big on politicians' lists to investigate, but it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a system here, right? The green keeps flowing, and people turn the other way on things.
Yeah, and sorry, the scene is like so enrapturing.
No, that's the point, right? Like it's supposed to
Yeah.
be as enticing as it is to Seymour as it is to the audience, that we would
Yeah.
want to be buying into this,
Just like the puppet, I'm just like so enthralled.
right?
There's Oren.
He's back.
Yeah. Feed him to the plant.
Who, Orrin the dentist?
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That,
I know. So I'm like, and yep, let's get that going as soon as
yep.
possible.
Mm-hmm. It looks like rat food to me.
Cool.
And once again, this is the devil on the shoulder, right? The plaintiff's egging
Yep.
on these envious feelings that Seymour is having, right? The plaintiff's
Yep.
feeding off those desires, just like corruption and greed feed off a person's already built-in systems and desires there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are always, Jill, just a step away, right?
Don't worry.
Oh, there's Professor Sprout from Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh no.
look at the braces.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Why is he sitting like that?
Like the fact we get Bill Murray in this random cameo as like this, uh, as this guy who kind of has a bit of a hard on for the dentist.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So you'll see the tools that he's gonna pull out. They're actually the tools that get reused in 1989's Batman as the tools that get used
Oh.
on Jack Nicholson when he becomes the Joker. So it's the props getting
Wow.
reused in future films.
That's like a cool bit of trivia.
right? I love how Bill Murray. Apparently, Bill Murray did a lot of improv in this scene, where like they just had
Okay.
props lying around, and him and Steve Martin would just kind of play with each other.
Nice.
There, it's those tools.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like just the ad lib, like just verbal diarrhea that he's going through right now is just
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. With the gauze in his mouth.
Yeah. It sounds like a. I don't want to sound crude, but it sounds a bit like a kinky fetish scene.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, Seymour's got a gun. Like I love how like Steve Martin's dentist is like, what the hell? I get off on people crying over this.
Yeah.
Like you're not crying. Like this is just all improv apparently between the two of them. Yeah, definitely don't show this to Ellis anytime soon. This may traumatize him from the dentist.
Oh my God. Oh gosh. How is he not like choking on the gauze?
Yeah. This is just such a random scene that doesn't need to be
Like
in
a
the movie,
pain tolerance.
but it's setting up such a great moment. Great cut, great editing there.
Yeah.
Do you like going to the dentist, Jill?
Um, I was kind of indifferent with it ever since I was a kid. Like the pediatric dentist I went to, we were able to like watch movies while we did cleanings and stuff,
Oh.
like up in the ceilings.
Well, that's
So
cool.
like I've always kind of not minded it as a kid, and then even now too. Although I do have some sensitive sections in my gums that I always like when they're doing the water cleaning and
Yes.
like the electric toothbrush, I get a bit like ooh, like
Yeah.
sensitive feeling, but
Yeah.
other than that I don't mind it. I'd probably rather well, actually no. I think out of all of the appointments, the dentist is probably the one I'd go to the least.
Yep.
But
The gas mask setup he's got on. Looks like Hannibal Lecter.
yes, I know.
It's
Ah,
like Hannibal Lecter meets Darth Vader.
yeah, he gets off on like painful fetishes.
Yes.
He's such a dark character. Like, holy
Mm-hmm.
cow. Oh, he's gonna do it. Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, wait, so he can't get it off. So,
yes.
mm.
And this is a great kind of Disney death where
Right.
it's like the character can't kill them, but they gotta die somehow. So it's like Gaston falling
Right.
off the roof by accident versus the beast throwing him off the roof, you know?
Right, right, right.
It's one of those great kind of classic Disney tropes of of we can't have our main character. Great physical comedy here
Yep.
with the dead body. Like Rick Moranis was such a good physical comedian
Yeah,
for
it was
such like
very good.
a smaller size guy. The
And
physical
such a
things you can
derp.
watch him
Like, he's
do,
such a derp.
yeah, like just so good. And you go watch him in like SCTV and things like that, and he's just
Hmm. Oh,
amazing.
this dog's like, what is going on here?
uh, like once again, this is a good person
Yep.
who's about to do some really horrible things for the sake of money and
Hmm.
yeah, and for doing and for getting the girl that he wants. Oh, who's here? Who's coming? Like this is very Hitchcockian here, with like the
Yeah.
dead body, and of course somebody's Mr. Mushnick's coming back to the office. The slow walking, you know, like this is almost like right
Stepping
out of
over
Misery.
the legs of like the person sleeping on the street, not even
Yeah,
thinking twice about, yeah.
here we go.
Well, like, you don't have to hack at it. Like,
Well, this guy's never chopped anybody up before.
true, true.
I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd probably get an axe too. Uh oh. Mr. Mushnick.
Oh.
I love how grotesquely joyful the plant is in this
He like
movie.
wrapped them all in
Yeah.
newspapers.
Well, he's feeding everything to the plant: the newspapers, the body. Like,
Mhm. Oh, that was a good cut too.
yep. And just the grotesqueness of the inside of the mouth. You know, like
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah.
just a lot of really good imagery there.
Hmm. I like that. I get that they work in a flower shop, but even like these scenes, like there's always plants
Mm-hmm.
around. It's just like a good contrast to
Yep.
the beast at hand.
Yep. Oh, somebody's talking to Audrey.
Mm.
Like now we're finally into the main plot of this musical. That Orrin's dead. Seymour's made the deal to kill people to feed the plant. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And it really is tragic that somebody who was so cruel to Audrey, yet she still has a way in her
Yeah.
heart of feeling
Well,
sad that she's gone.
that's that's a classic trope of
Yep.
someone who's abused, right? Is
Yes. And here we go. We're going to get into one of the
mhm,
iconic duets.
yeah.
One that Jill knows very well if you check out her
And
Instagram.
here she's gaining
Mm.
this switch of
Yeah.
getting power.
I mean, the scene feels so authentic, this argument that they're having with each other.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel comedic. It doesn't feel, you know, over the top. Like, it feels like a very genuine conversation that Howard Ashman's written in here.
Mhm.
Mm. No.
Hmm.
Here we go.
Oh.
Like, Rick Moranis is such a great choice for this role. Like, he just like,
Yeah.
everybody who's played Seymour after him, you just look and you think Rick Moranis. And if it doesn't fit that mold, it's
Mhm.
like, no, that's not the character. Like, he just personifies that kind of gawky,
Yeah.
nice guy. Hmm. I love the double wordplay in this
Mhm.
song. Like,
Yep.
suddenly Seymour, it's like C as an SIEE
Yep.
more,
Yep.
and then his name
Mhm.
is Seymour.
Yeah.
Like, that's just Howard
And there's a
Ashman.
realization
Mm-hmm.
this suddenly from both of their ends, right? Of like
Yes.
he's gaining the confidence to be like, I am finally going to
Mm-hmm.
express to you how I've been feeling and what you
Yep.
deserve. And then the flip side, when she says it, it's like this epiphany of like, oh my gosh, this guy's been in my corner this whole time, you
Yes.
know? And no one's ever treated her kindly, but she's like,
Yep.
suddenly here he is.
Yep. Somebody nice.
Such a good song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's such a iconic duet that Al
Yeah.
Menken and Howard Ashman wrote, and it's very Rodgers and Hammerstein in the sense of they wrote a song that was specific to the show, but you can take this song out of the show and make it its own thing,
Yeah.
which is something that not a lot of musicals do now. About see now she's getting
Yes.
into the belt, and it works here. It's the characters warranting the growth of the
Well,
sound,
yeah. And she's
and it's
gaining all of that power
right.
of self and of, yeah, like kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
phoenix rising from the ashes.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like she's playing to the back of the audience either when she belts
Yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
She's still keeping her mannerisms very controlled, but the voice is allowed to be big.
Yeah.
And even she's dropping a bit of that cartoon voice too.
Yeah.
She's going to a chest voice.
Yes, you can, girl.
Yeah. I mean, this is why you cast Ellen, is because the
Yeah.
song was written for her as a character, and she originated the song, and it
Yeah.
all just fits. Like, this is why you cast Broadway actors to sing this music. Is
Yeah.
because they can take this music. It's like Samantha Barks in Les Mis, right?
Yep.
She's the one that came out of that movie sounding the best, and she knew how to play to the camera and sang the heart out of those songs.
Yep.
Same thing with Ariana DeBose and West Side Story, right? Broadway actress can like. This is why I go. You got to cast more Broadway people in movie musicals. I'm sure
Yep. You're
Cynthia Erivo
telling
will
me,
do the
Mac.
same thing when we get to Wicked next Christmas.
Yay.
And of course, there's the glowing sunset there.
Mm-hmm.
So beautiful.
Uh-oh.
And he's a gentleman. He won't do more than a first kiss.
No, but I'm thinking this plant is gonna come and bite us.
Oh,
Things are
probably.
too good right
Oh, look, it
now.
even opens the door for him.
Yep.
Look at the size of the plant now.
Yeah.
Just that laugh.
Uh-oh.
He's a happy guy. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh, here. The like mystery music undertones.
Yeah. And what's really great is the film's cut the big song for Mr. Mushnick, which is Mushnick and Sons, which is where
Okay.
Mushnick adopts Seymour so he can make sure that the inheritance and all the money Seymour is getting, which is kind of, I'm glad they cut it because it plays off kind of the Jewish stereotype of being money
Yeah.
grubbing. Like the fact that we don't have that and he's just kind of a very good boss is a much
Yeah,
nicer
yeah.
thing. And the thing is, you get why he's doing what he's doing right now because you've seen him chopping up a body. And we know it's like, oh, Seymour's nice.
Yeah.
But here, like, this is fun where you're either going, is the plant actually talking? Or is Seymour envisioning the plant
Envisioning
talking
it.
again?
Yeah, like is it in his mind?
Yeah. Because see, the plant's back to being normal.
Yep. What's gonna happen?
Like, this is very Law and Order. This is very kind of
Yeah.
classic crime procedural.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, once again, Mr. Mushnick, he's a gray character, right? On one
Yeah.
hand, he's a good boss. On the other hand, he's being
Oh, but
very
he's gonna bite the
broody.
dust right now.
And
Hmm.
I love the doo-wop girls just under
Yeah.
the whole time. And the fact that he's
Also, like they're dressed kind of like the inside of its
of the plant.
mouth, like
Yeah.
the same color shades, you know?
Yes. I love how we get the double walk of the doo-wop girls walking at the same time.
Yeah.
Mushnick and them are walking. Here we go. This is kind of like Pretty Women in Sweeney Todd, right? Where it's the, is he gonna cut the throat of Judge Turpin or not? Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
I love the heavy crunching sound effect they gave the
Yep.
plant when he's eating people. There we
Didn't
go.
need those bits chopped up.
Nope. So once again, now we're getting this bigger kind of cacophony of of corruption and greed
Right.
are all coming together, right? It's the green, right? It's the capitalistic nature of
Yep.
the world. Once you kind of get into it, the rat race is hard to get out of. This is this was Autumn's number one song of the show. Is the meek shall inherit, because the commentary it has.
Right.
And the fact you see Seymour's uncomfortable with it, like he's doing it, but he's still a good guy at heart. He never pushed Mr. Mushnick into the plant.
That's
Mushnick
right. Yeah,
himself kind
of
got trapped in the plant when he looked into it.
I mean, he certainly didn't prevent anything, but yeah.
No, once again, and that's just like Seymour not helping Orrin as he's asphyxiating on the laughing gas.
Well, it's gotten bigger. This is taking over the shop.
Yeah. You know, it's like a festering wound, right?
Oh,
the greed and what happens with it spreads.
It's hungry. And here's his breaking point.
Yep. I love it's just like the tiniest little...
Just like a little love tap, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sees him getting TV contracts. Mm.
Oh. Sure.
This is very Tony and Maria. We'll get on a train, we'll get out of here, we'll get to a place far, far away, you know, somewhere, there's a place for us. Like, this is a very good setup. It's the tragedy of the plans, and are they going to go right or not?
The plants.
Yeah.
And are they going to go right or not?
Oh, Mr. Plant.
There's some greenery they have to get by first to go somewhere that's green. Wake up. It's blocking the door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, he's walking through the vines.
This is kind of like Stranger Things, where like they're where they have to get to Vecna and they can't step on any of his veiny Rudy things.
I've not seen that season yet, Mac.
What?
Spoiler.
Jill, it was like the most watched show for like a few weeks.
I know. I haven't seen season 3 or 4.
Jill, you're so behind.
I know.
Feed me. I love how they make it almost like a bit like a puppy dog, like just this sad puppy dog of.
Yeah.
Mm. Like just the amount of work in this puppet,
I
like the
know. Just
articulation
the
of the
fact that,
whole mouth
yeah.
is incredible. Mm. This plant is evil.
Yep. Uh-oh. It's gonna start moving.
Yup.
Wow.
What's it doing? I think if I remember correctly, this puppet needed like 12 people
I bet.
to work. It's stealing
Oh
some
my
money.
goodness.
Oh, you know what it's doing?
Oh, it's opening the door.
No.
Oh no.
Like the plant is so human. Like just the
Wow.
little
Yeah.
smirk it's giving, like as it's dialing the phone number.
Uh-oh.
And it's even
Like
strumming
figures
its
on a window.
fingers.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
It's the plant.
Oh, Audrey.
She's very naive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like this is very much almost like Anita in the candy store from West Side Story. It's
Yep.
very predator prey, like very kind of icky and gross.
Okay.
Yep. All right, here we go. Let's see if it's the red ending or the alternative ending.
Oh no.
Got her.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. This is very Eponina Marius here, Little Fall of
Yes, it
Rain.
is.
This is the danger of revenge. It consumes all.
Yep.
And that is the ultimate tragedy of the stories. Right? So this is so far we're on the original musical ending.
Hmm. Wow, this is some like psychologically
Jill is
damaged
yeah.
realization. Like it's heartbreaking.
Yes. Mm.
Wow, her acting is phenomenal.
Right?
Oh, somewhere that's green.
Yep.
The double meaning there now.
Yes. And you will keep me safe.
Yeah,
And you will
exactly.
keep me close. And the
Oh
rain
no.
will make the flowers grow. Yeah, this is not a happy movie, Jill.
No.
Definitely don't show this to Ellis anytime soon.
No, yeah. When you asked me that, Mac, I was like, I don't think so. So wait, does he do it?
Yeah, you're gonna see. The plant is ready.
Oh my god, so ominous.
So once again, this is also very Sweeney Todd, right?
Yeah.
Todd kills his wife, and Audrey dies by the hands of
Hmm.
Seymour via his plant. Like this is such a tragic trope of this type of show that the love has to die. Oh,
It's good imagery.
yep. And he's fed her to the plant. He, like the tears from Marinus is crying. Like the
Wow, and then having
emotion. Aww.
there she goes.
Like, and once again, you have this is a puppet that they had to
I know,
build
like
large
sliding
enough
down, like wow.
to fit Mr. Mushnick when he had to
Yep.
do his dive in, and then
Hmm.
Audrey, and then Ellen Green. Like
Yeah.
this, that's a big ass puppet.
With the big dress and yeah, yeah.
Yes. Oh,
Where is he
Seymour.
going?
He's doing his Javert moment here. He's running to the
Right.
bridge. What have I done?
Yeah.
Aww. Yeah, this show takes a very dark turn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. It's another plant. Oh, wow. No. Hmm.
Hmm.
And it's taking us back to the beginning when it
Yep.
said that something kind of overtook humanity.
Yes.
Seymour. No, that
Oh.
ominous smile.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
Mm-hmm.
And see, once again, greed and corruption, right?
Mm-hmm.
It spreads. Yep. This is the you
The
got
plant
what you
is
wanted.
fully taken over.
Yep. Yep. You got what you wanted. Like, get over it.
Wow.
Like the puppetry work in this.
Yeah. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Burst open.
It's alive. Mm-hmm. Like, just look at all those arms moving.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that is somebody.
Oh no. Little tinies.
Yep.
This would be a fun song to sing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's like bulletproof.
Yep.
Huh.
Ooh.
I would just imagine like when this movie came out in theaters at this
Yep.
time, like everyone must have been raving. Like this is a
I can
really
tell
good
you what the
quality
reaction was.
like
Let me see. The reaction from audiences about the film, where the film received a collective score of 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. The New York Times, Janet Marcel, called it a full blown movie musical and quite a winning one. Roger Ebert, in his review, said, all of the wonders of Little Shop of Horrors are accomplished with an offhand, casual charm. This is the kind of movie that cults are made of. And after Little
Mm.
Shop finishes its first run, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see it develop as one of those movies that fans want to include in their lives. Oz's friend and Muppet
Right.
colleague Jim Henson praised the film and said the lip sync on the plant in that film is just absolutely amazing. It was nominated for
Yeah.
Best Original Song at the Oscars and for Best Visual Effects. It did not win.
Wow.
I guarantee if this came out today, it would get a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
I think in the 80s that just wasn't musicals weren't considered that at the time. They were kind of lowbrow after all the flops they'd had. Just look at all the effects of the practical effects of blowing up the shop.
Yep.
He's growing.
Just full takeover.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Can't. He's trapped. He's cornered.
Yeah. Well, he's no longer there.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, is he still alive? Yes, he is. Oh.
Wow, that's such a good image too.
Right? Here we go. This is like right out of a horror movie. Like, this is like
Yep.
Jaws. Here he goes. So
To
this
have the
song isn't in the
awe,
stage
like the
show.
awes of the music
Yeah.
of kind of like mimicking like a screaming awe, you
Yes.
know?
So that song isn't in the stage show originally. It's been
Okay.
added to later productions, but this was the song that got them the Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. But Seymour and Audrey do die in the stage
Okay.
show. So it still has the same tragic ending. But there was a happier ending that was filmed as well, because they felt the
Okay.
original ending was too dark. And audiences wouldn't like that because, as Oz said, in the stage show, the actors get to come out and take a bow at the end, so audiences can still leave feeling good about all the characters that die. In the
Right.
film, you leave, but the characters are still dead, and it can leave a bad taste in audiences'
Wow, this is a
mouths,
really good image with like the Star Spangled Banner
right? And just
and the
like
women like
yeah.
rising up of like, wow, it's such good symbolism of
It's also
if
it's
you
also reminiscent
indulged.
of Patton, the war film Patton, that opens with
Hmm.
General Patton standing in front of a flag like this.
Hmm. Hmm. Wow.
There you go. But like that's like a lot of products that we see get like the big thing in the
Yeah.
world, right?
It's all consumerism, right?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. If you do it nowadays, it'd be Amazon. Everybody be ordering a plant like this
Yeah.
off Amazon, right? It's like when COVID hit and everybody started making bread. So all the flour and the yeast started flying off the shelves. Or in the 80s, I mean, this is
Right.
a very 80s concept too, right? Like commercialism, like just frenzy. And
Yep.
like you see the videos of like Cabbage Patch Kids, those dolls that everybody just like killed each other for. Special bulletin.
Yeah.
The plant's taking over.
Yeah. Oh.
Very 80s.
Yep.
And of course, here it comes.
There it comes.
Destroying the bridge.
It's very Godzilla-esque.
Yes. Once again, a B movie, right? Like,
Yep.
there's a lot of great homages to all these B movies from the past. And like, this would all be a miniature with the plant walking down the street, throwing the cars. Like, the fact that this was done in the 80s, it still looks pretty good.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like, this is very War of the Worlds as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Haha.
Very tragic ending to the show.
Yeah.
And once again, this is where the joy of doing a film comes into play, right? Because on stage, you can't do all this stuff.
Right.
You can't show all these things getting blown up because it just isn't feasible in the theater. But on film, this is where you can take advantage of that, right?
Yeah. Still has the like chippy 80s music in the background too.
Once again, like juxtaposition, right?
Oh, the poor dog.
Yep.
It really is symbolism of like consumerism at its finest. At its finest, like
that everybody wants a
look
piece
what
of
can
it.
happen when greed takes over.
Yes.
Literally takes over and causes havoc.
Yes. Right? It's that all-consuming thing that it gets everybody in the end.
Oh, this one little dog that's just trotting along.
Oh,
driving right. Ha ha ha.
I just love how gleeful the plants are too. Like that's the joy of this.
Say again, sorry.
I was just saying I love how gleeful the plants are during this whole montage.
Wow.
And I think it's a very fitting, right? Like they chose to set this all in New York, America, right? Like Wall Street, the clout of the world is here. Statue of Liberty for like, well, give us your degenerate, you're poor, you're sick, you know?
Wow, I can't get over how like long this montage is. This montage is too. That's a really good image too of like the plant literally taking over the Statue of Liberty.
The end.
Something that's also green and symbolism for freedom and liberty that is no longer the case here. Wow, we are left with the grotesque mouth.
Yep.
Yes. Wow.
All right, Jill.
Thoroughly
so this
impressed.
was your first time watching it. Like, what are your thoughts?
Woohoo!
Give us your review. What did you think of the film?
Yeah, I loved this. again, I'm a huge fan of like B-listy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think there was like a wrong part played in this. I think all the actors were awesome.
Yes.
The underbellyness of, we talked about like consumerism and how like where greed gets you, and even like the going into the relationship stuff of like abuse, and also like I don't want to say like sexual kinks, but like showing like using violence as like a sex appeal was like a really interesting thing. And like, because even like I also was going to mention this too, in when he takes over Seymour in the shop of Oren and
Mr. Mushnick.
Mushkin are inside the plant too, and you see those characters. I mean, obviously Oren's a little bit on the nose, like you see him actually act terrible to everybody he comes across. But like is it Mushkin?
Mushnick. Mr. Mushnick.
Mushnick, sorry. The movie's like playing in my ears, so I'm like, oh. Mr. Mushnick, like he again though turns an eye to like the greed. They're both terrible people in their own sense, basically, is what I'm saying. And so the fact that the plant is nourished by those two bodies just sort of magnifies the evilness that may already been there. And again, this is just a movie. I was sitting on the edge of my seat. I'm like, where is this gonna go? Again, I knew coming in here that Audrey dies. I didn't know that Seymour did, though. So that was a fun little taste, no pun intended. But I can totally like this musical is timeless to me. Like this could easily be done now, right? It is the core, the themes
off Broadway.
Exactly. And the themes that like lifts up the whole story are unfortunately themes of humanity that will grow until the end of time, I thought the staging of it like was, again, it was so fluid. I was never like, my God, with cat smack being like, what is the scale? What are we dealing with? Like there's like
very clear
this show
scale in this.
knew,
the plants,
and it knew what it was.
Very clear and precise.
Yeah, like I said, the sprinkling in of like plant imagery, even when the plant isn't in the forefront. The costuming, especially with our trio, or like chorus trio, was stunning all the time, and also had like the color patterns was kind of reifying what we are about to see or what we have just seen. I can't really say a bad thing about it. Like this is going down as probably one of my favorite movie musicals.
There you go, Jill.
And everyone's singing too was like real and not like put on or not perfect. Like even like Ellen Green, like holy cow, her even in Suddenly Seymour, like she wasn't afraid to like be husky sounding or emotive sounding. And it's not like, oh, here's my time to shine, I'm a Broadway star, here's my rockin' awesome voice. It's here's my rockin' awesome voice, but also having an awakening and being grotesque because it's been bottled up the whole time, like there's very growly, the angst and the pain that characters are feeling throughout all of this really came through in the directing choices and the vocal choices, which I love. Because again, it just drumming home the rawness of humanity.
Like Steve Martin and Rick Moranis are not the best singers in the world, but their roles don't require that for them. And that's where the difference is, where people are like, well, what's wrong with like Russell Crowe wasn't a great singer, but you bash him. It's like, well, his job was to sing really well in that movie. That whole movie requires Russell Crowe to sing really well. Pierce Brosnan, Mamma Mia, I'll give him a bit more of a pass because it's a bit more of a campy movie. But he just can't hold a tune. It just sounded really bad. Like Rick Moranis did a lot of talk sing, but he still held his own with
for sure,
Ellen Green, right? Like he still was able to carry the melody and sound melodic.
Yeah.
versus Pierce Brosnan, who sounded like he was, you know, like a carburetor there trying to keep up with Meryl Streep in SOS, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's levels and differences. Like if you are going to cast somebody in a role in a movie musical, I think this is a really good example of you don't need to always get a Broadway actor. Steve Martin is not a Broadway actor, but his physicality and his melodic abilities to carry that tune really worked for Dentist. He brought in the
Mm-hmm.
right work with it, and that's where I think directors need to kind of look at that and go, what does the role require of an actor? If it's going to be a
Yeah.
Javert, they got to be able to hold their singing voice because they are the main antagonist of the film and are going to be required to sing really well. Steve Martin, Orin
Well,
the Dentist,
yeah.
you can fudge that a bit. Chris
And I
Evans
think it
wants to play
also
Orin in the remake of Little Shop they're doing.
Chris Evans,
Yeah,
Captain America?
Yes.
No way. Maybe
Yes.
Seymour.
No, Chris
That's
Evans, but
hilarious.
Butch Captain America? No way.
No, but I'm saying he can't play the dentist.
Yes. I can see him. Did you
I
ever see him in
cannot
Knives
see that.
Out?
No.
Watch him
Okay,
in
maybe,
Knives
maybe
Out.
I'm throwing him under the bus here.
Watch him in Knives Out. He
Um,
plays a very different role from Captain America in that. Where I can easily see
okay.
him going in the role of Orin the Dentist.
Of dentist. Okay, cool. One thing too, like to talk about genre, like I think
Mm-hmm.
that like with Les Mis, that it's supposed to be heartfelt, hard
Yes.
hitting. It's
Mm-hmm.
serious. Like, hello,
Yes.
we're entering the revolution. Like,
Yep.
but
Yes.
with something like this and something like Mamma Mia, like, yeah, the
Yep.
more campier or
Yep.
like B plot, like
Yep.
you're kind of coming into something that has like a comedic glaze on
Mm-hmm.
it. You can get away with
Yep.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that genre has
Yes.
a huge part in it.
Yes. Oh, genre is a huge part in that type of thing, right? Genre saves a
Hmm.
lot, right? There's a lot of things that can be forgiven because hey, there's a talking plant in this.
Yeah,
Like this is camp upon camp, right? Like take
yeah.
it for what it is. This is not meant to be, you know, Eponine dying in Marius's arms. I mean, still Rick Moranis and Ellen Green sold that emotionally genuine moment
Yeah.
because that's what makes this show great. Is it's campy, but there are some really tender, heartfelt moments
Yeah.
that drop into this piece that really kind of make you
Hmm.
invest in the story.
Well, and every
And that's the same
character,
with Mamma Mia, right? Like Mamma Mia has Dancing Queen, but at the same time, you get Slipping Through My Fingers and The
yeah,
Winner Takes It All, which are emotional rocks of that show that
yeah.
drill into the audience that make you feel it, right? So
Hmm.
yeah.
It's funny with this piece, like I feel like every character except maybe Oren, you saw their hesitancy of
Mm-hmm.
when they're about to do something
Yep.
that they know they shouldn't be. So
Yep.
like clear and obvious Seymour with feeding
Mm-hmm.
the plant,
Yep.
um, Mr. Mushnick with advancing the shop in the way that he is,
Mm-hmm.
right? Growing his shop and turning a
Yes.
blind eye to the rest of his neighborhood.
Yep.
And even with
Audrey.
Audrey, like going back into Orrin's arms, right? There's that
Yes.
hesitancy of like, I know this is a bad situation for me,
Yep.
but like, I'm going to do it anyways. And so it was
Yep.
that like drummed through really well with all of
Yep.
our main characters. And again, I
Yes.
think speaks really well to humanity is you always
Yes.
have that breaking point or that
Yes.
switch. And
Yes.
sometimes it's harder to turn off and on than others in certain moments. But there is always at least a microsecond
Mm-hmm.
of should I do this or should I not do this? Is
Mm-hmm.
this going to benefit me or benefit others or not? Like,
Yep.
and it just makes it makes the emotional moments and the higher stakes moments of the
Mm-hmm.
piece really like fill
Yep.
in that gap of
Yes.
the ramifications of that micro
Yep.
moment. Like,
Mm-hmm. So there you go.
yeah,
I mean, Howard Ashman, Alan Menken, their first collaboration together, and they hit it out of the park.
they did.
Yeah.
Thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. So you can see why
All
when they
right.
went into Disney, they had such a good handle on writing those two films, right? There's
Yeah.
particularly Howard Ashman. Like Alan Menken
Hmm.
does a lot. Don't get me wrong. He is being the one carrying the torch for that partnership since Howard's passing, and has continued
Yep.
to carry the messages that about musical theater that Howard really wanted to impart onto the world. But there can never be enough said about the genius of Howard Ashman and the writing of this, because he wrote and directed this original production.
Right.
But Frank Oz did the movie, obviously, but there was close collaboration because this was really Howard Ashman's pet project of doing
Right.
this show. So, I mean, you look at the writing in this and how strong it is with the double entendres, the symbolism, the lyric choices, right? I mean, I think this show really is a testament to the tragedy of the loss of Howard Ashman, a man who was, I think he was only in his, like, I think he was late 30s, early 40s. Like, he wasn't old when he sadly passed away from AIDS, right? And it's that tragedy of loss when you just go, damn, how much more could he have given the world when he was literally just, like, he'd only done 2 Disney movies and was working on Aladdin when he died, right? And you think of just how much more he had to give, and how much more his writing could have progressed. And I think if he had lived, excuse me, he would have been the follow-up to Stephen Sondheim. I could see the progression there.
Yeah.
Which is sad that we never got that, but
Right. But we can raise our glasses to him.
We raise our glasses to him. And Jill, let's wrap it here. Where can people find and follow you?
Sure, yes. People can follow me at Jillian.Robinson96. It's my artist Instagram account, where I post upcoming opportunities and covers. And you will see me covering Suddenly Seymour with the great actor friend of mine, Aaron Craig, who is currently on Disney Cruise Lines right now as a performer. So everything's full circle. But yeah, you can find me there.
On the cruise lines?
I'm not sure what his track is for this one, but I believe this is his second cruise. The last one he did, I'm pretty sure he was Prince Charming, at least one track. But then it's quite neat how many different sort of roles you kind of get shaken up with. But yeah, so I don't know any more details than that.
Okay, all right.
But yeah. So yeah, follow me there and keep up with stuff that's coming up down the line.
Love that.
Yeah, I think I mentioned with Cats, I'll be playing Buttons in a Cinderella panto. Buttons is a character written in as sort of the MC clown best friend character to Cinderella. That'll be happening with TYT Theater at Witchwood Theater here in Toronto. So that'll be going up November 26th to December 18th on weekends. So you'll see information posted on the page down the line. How about you, Mac?
Well, you can follow me at Mackenzie Horner, all social media platforms. You can follow Jill and I at Cup of Hemlock Theater, where we do all types of fun antics there. We just did a really fun 5-panel review of the David Hasselhoff pro shot of the musical Jekyll and Hyde. So Autumn and I have yet to talk about that musical on this forum, but I do get into it with Jill and others on the other page. So check that out. And I'm excited to say that coming very soon, I believe we're doing it next Friday. Our friend Jamie Knox and I will be doing a live commentary of the Hugh Jackman movie musical, The Greatest Showman.
Okay.
As requested by Jamie. So tune in next Friday for that. So
nice.
Lots of fun there. But there we go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. We cannot wait to do this with you again. And we will promise to get Autumn on one of these. She is just such a busy lady with all her work up in Muskoka. So we will get her on one of these again. She has promised to do the West Side Story commentary for the 2021 film. So we will definitely get her on here for this. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and remember, don't feed the plants. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone.